Look how cool this footage looks. OK, the subject has a lot to do with it, but it's mainly down to the Super 8 film it's recorded on. And this is a technology that's 40 years old. The Super 8 was to 60s filmmakers what the hard disk camera is to us today. Before this came along, it was all a real faff. You had to delicately load cinefilm onto sprockets and then unload it in the dark so it wasn't ruined. The Super 8 was a plug-and-play marvel. It was released in 1965 by Eastman Kodak as a replacement for the 8.8 format that dated back to the 1930s. Super 8 cartridges were not only easier to use, they were also sealed so you didn't risk exposing your shot film to daylight. It was all about glamour. Your girlfriend looked like Marilyn Monroe and you wanted to drive around an open-top car, film her and show your mates just how sexy she was. But by today's standards, it was expensive, a couple of £1,000s. But even that was about showing your friends that you'd made it and that you weren't afraid to flaunt it. The characteristic look is mainly down to its 18 per second frame rate, unlike the 25 that's used these days on the telly. At that speed, each cartridge could record 3 minutes and 20 seconds of footage. Sounds lame now, but that was awesome in the 60s. And it didn't stand still. While the first Super 8 was silent, the technology soon evolved to capture the sound of the 70s. And don't think that technology has moved on and made Super 8 irrelevant. Even now there are film festivals devoted to the art of shooting on Super 8, and it's still used in music videos and films. So there you have it. Super 8 has to be on the Gadget Show Wall of Fame because it was the first truly amateur-friendly film format, and its unique look is sought after even today. Thanks for that, love. Tell you what, lose the centre parting, yeah? We can do this again. All right.
The Super 8 was actually a massive pain in the iris. Yes, it was easy to shoot with, but then you had to wait for someone else to develop the film for you. The real revolution came when you could record 1 minute, then play it straight back the next. This is the JVC GRC1, the first ever all-in-one VHS camcorder. VHS players were already common when it was released in March '84, and the JVC recorded onto a half-hour CVHS tape that, with a simple adapter, would play back on your telly. The cost of the GRC1 was about £1,500, which is around £3.5 in today's money. A similar price to the first Super 8 cameras, but a lot more useful. It had instant playback via this small CRT monitor, so you could see not only what you were recording, but what you had already shot. Just rewind and enjoy the brilliance of your cinematography. It may be pretty big, but that had two benefits. Firstly, men loved holding it on their shoulder and feeling like Steven Spielberg, and secondly, it was packed with proper features like lens filters, white balance and exposure control, and a separate button for low-light shooting. But it wasn't just the consumers who felt the benefit. Yes, the Super 8 is still used by arty types in music videos who want their shots to look flicky, oversaturated, rubbish, but the JVC went one step further into pop culture thanks to a man by the name of Robert Zemeckis. In the 80s, he directed a little-known film called Back to the Future. You may have heard of it. He loved the GRC1 so much that he included it in the film. It was used by Marty McFly to film the DeLorean as Doc Brown tried to hit 88 miles per hour. Just this is enough to warrant a place on the Wall of Fame, but the film reference is far from the only reason that this deserves to be on there. It was a revolution in so many ways. Durability, portability, quality, compatibility, desirability. Okay, maybe not affordability, but this wasn't for pound shops. This was for pioneers. For bringing home video with immediate results to the world, the JVC GRC1 is a device that has to go on the wall. Gotta go.
Both very interesting slices of history, gentlemen. As ever, a couple of questions. Jason, Super 8, I mean, we had Standard 8, we had 16mm, we had them for years, but what was so great, what was so new about that?
Even I was amazed how modern it feels. I mean, you click that cartridge of film in there and you shut it. It's a very simple and reassuring experience, a very modern experience.
So, tactile pleasure still today?
Plug and play, yeah.
Right. Ooh. Otis, VHS, fine in its day, but very rapidly superseded for camcorders by much better formats, really.
It was the first of its kind, John. It enabled you instant gratification from what you just shot, instant playback. And look at it. It's gorgeous.
It's I have to say, it is a gorgeous-looking bit of kit.
Oh, yeah, so sort of 80s desirability to look at versus sort of pioneering convenience in a sense. Ooh, but only one of the two still produces images that filmmakers still want. And that one is the Super 8!
Yay! Oh, results! Excuse me, move aside, thank you. Coming through with my Super 8.
Because filmmakers still want those lovely images, because it's actually really quite an iconic object, and for those two reasons, it deserves its place on the Gadget Show's Wall of Fame.
I can't tell you how good it feels to be on that top slot.